Hi everyone, I'm Lisa,
I'm Lori.
and we're here to give you a weekly challenge update of all the things that you can participate in Cross Stitch World on Facebook. Well, not all the things, just a great many. So if you're interested in working out how you can do your double dipping and what's going on, what groups are currently open or whatever, then stay tuned. And if you're not interested, then scroll on by to the next video. All right,
Mhm.
let's start with our usual, Laurie.
Daily 30. So the two weeklies that are active currently are Sir Edgar Elgar. That is October 28th through November 11th. Um, the prompts values are 200 stitches, 2 hours for 3 tokens, 300 stitches or 3 hours work for 5 tokens. First prompt, stitch on a piece you have worked on whilst meeting with other stitchers, either in person or by Zoom.
Okay,
That's
well,
all.
I was going to say that's pretty easy for us because we get together often on the WIPWarrior Zoom, and we stitch a couple of days a week together. So I think it'd be very easy for me to pick one with that. So I'm not going to bother giving you specifics.
Fair enough. Prompt number 2, stitch on a whip that you have made a variation to in some way.
Hmm. I also could be a great number of whips. I'm just thinking about which ones I want to focus on. All right. I'm currently working on my Spooky Hollow by Tiny Modernist. And I made a variation by changing the colors to just two random greens and yellow and orange that I had in hand, not the called for.
Nice. I made a variation to the Haunted Library Sal. And I am adding glow in the dark thread to some of the white. So there are candles here. I'm going to make them glow. And then there's skull, null post type things. And I'm going to make those glow as well.
Awesome.
Stop sharing. Got it. So the next post is stitch on a whip that you started almost as soon as it was released. That's hard, right?
That is harder, particularly based on my current one. Temperature Bookshelf 2022. The 2022 one was released, and I started as soon as I could in December in preparation for it.
Got it. Same, well, the Haunted Library salad, it's a
Yeah.
salad. The same. Because you got to get in on those as soon as you know about them.
Mm.
So the next prompt, number 4, stitch on a whip that you have fallen out of love with, or a whip that is a bit neglected.
Oh, okay. Well, I can definitely do neglected for that one. Savannah's Curtsy. I've only done 300 stitches on it, so it's very neglected.
For me, it is Cozy Cove. It's not being neglected now, but it's been neglected for 10 years because it is my oldest whip. You can see the cover. That's my actual cover. It's all beat up because it's been stored and transported. So Cozy Cove is my whip. Prompt number 5, stitch on a whip of choice and tell us about your favorite music. So we
Okay,
don't
well,
really
so
need to.
that could be any whip. My favorite music is actually the film music of John Williams. I think he's a very clever composer, and I really enjoy doing his film music.
Um,
Your favorite music is?
it would be a three-way tie: rock, jazz, and R&B. And so those would be my 3 favorites. I can't really pick one. I really can't. I enjoy lots of other things, but those are the 3 that I would really, really miss. Um, I guess that's it for prompts. And then the number 6 prompt is this year has been the SAL. So stitch on a SAL of your choice. You have to post proof of SAL. Mine is the Haunted Library SAL, which I've just shown.
Yes.
Um, then the last one, the daily 30 is already expired for that week. So we won't go into that. The next active weekly challenge for Daily 30 is Television Week. It was just released today, so it runs the 11th through the 25th of November. The stitch counts are 100 stitches or 1 hour for 2 tokens, 200 stitches or 2 hours for 5 tokens. Pretty good token bonus there.
Yeah.
Not bonus, but value. Yeah. Prompt number 1, stitch on a monochromatic whip or all of your stitches in black or white.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a few monochromatics and things, but I've actually finished. Oh, choices. Depends if I want to double up with the month. I can't double up with the monthly. So I'm probably going to be boring and go all my stitches in black because I need to do some more on my stitch in time. I've still got a whole shelf to do and it's already November.
Got it. I'm going to stick with Haunted Library, Sal. I just threaded my needles with black and I'm going to do color completion from this point on. So that will be my whip. Prompt number 2, stitch on a whip you can link to a sport or to a timepiece.
A timepiece, as in like a period of time? A clock, okay.
Or like a timepiece. I'm thinking an actual object to measure time.
I've got a clock.
Yeah. That works. I don't know that I have a clock. You could do like a sundial or something like that. And I don't think I have anything. So I think I'm going to take alternate stitches, which is a good time to say, if you can't match the prompt, stitch an additional 100 stitches and you can earn that token value. And that's just called an alternate stitch option, and the rules are in the event. Prompt number 3, stitch on a whip you can relate to Britain.
That's a specific one. Well, in olden days Britain, they always had the society balls. And the Union Jack is red, white, and blue.
There you go. For me, it will be Haunted Library, Sal. And that is because Mary Shelley is in the center down here, and she is a British author.
Oh, that works.
Yeah, that works. I really like these prompts because they really get you to know your whips.
That's the whole point. That's why we do them.
The prompts, exactly. Prompt number 4, stitch on a whip that is a travel whip or that you stitch on virtual retreats or hangouts. So either you
travel or yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think my Maple Lane, because it's little.
Okay, I'm one of those. I'm gonna stick with the same whip again because I really did bring it over a friend's house at the 1st of October. So
you did.
I did.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, prompt number 5. Stitch on a whip of choice and tell us about your favorite show as a child. Television show. It's Television Week.
Gosh, when I was a child, there's so many shows I liked. I was a fan of like Bewitched. My brother used to love Leave It to Beaver. He loved the Thunderbirds. And I also remember watching a lot of Benny Hill with my parents.
I liked Wonder Woman with Linda Carter. That was a favorite of mine. As a child, I also liked The Cosby Show. A little controversial now, you know, as time goes, but that was really a good show. I watched that. Those are the favorites. So
depends on what age you ask me of a child, because you know, I developed the whole way through. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. And then you have the Sal prompt number 6, and you have the daily 30.
Oh, lovely. Cool. So that's some good prompts for the daily 30 group, which did just open up, people, but unfortunately I think you've missed the boat for this year if you didn't get in.
Yes, the group is trying to stay at 200 members because it is a grading and prompt intensive group and it requires you to be active. So they stayed open a little bit longer than last week, but they're trying to hit that 200 cap. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking of that, I'm going to jump to No New Starts / WIPWarriors. Remember, we've had the name change in preparation for next year. The group is currently still open, but we are going to have to put a cap on membership because, again, it is a participation group and it does require people to do like album checks and different things. So we don't want to overstress our lovely moderators and admins. So we want to have a limit. And I think that limit's going to get reached in about the next week. So if you've been thinking about joining WIPWarriors, remember there's a stream for everybody. But the idea is to work on your WIPs, get progress. You can go from as extreme as No New Starts to focusing on just 10 WIPs, all the way through work your WIPs 23 and 23 down to SWE. But if you are doing SWE, which is stitch what you want when you want, we do ask you to keep in mind that we're trying to help you achieve goals. So maybe set yourself some goals and you can do a new start when you finish something, or you want to, work on this many pieces before you get to go back to one. I don't know, but set yourself some goals, more details in the group. But it's not just a total willy-nilly do what you want. It's try and still help yourself get progress. But for some people, their SWE might be that they want to start a lot of things this year. That might be their goal. And that's fine if that's the goal. But have a goal and try and work towards it. So in No New Starts, we have also just opened up the road trip for the new members. It's there is an event about to start for new members to sort of not catch up, but get into the groove and ready to continue the journey around the needlework shops in America next year. So you have to be a member of No New Starts to participate in the road trip. Participation in the road trip can count as your participation in the main group. So you can join in SWE, join the road trip and do the road trip, and that counts as enough participation. So come and join us. Apart from that, we've got the Scrabble Light happening. Laurie, you want to tell us about that?
Yes, it's loosely based on the game Scrabble, in which you have a starting word and you create interlocking words, meaning your next word has to be formed with a letter from a previous word. And you were given 10 tiles, 10 letter tiles, and you just make a word using those 10 tiles. You make one word with those 10 tiles, your bag magically fills with the same tiles, or your rack, if that's the way you play, with your same 10 tiles, and you make another word. Yeah. The whole point is to get some fun progress and have a reason to stitch, other than just stitching. So each word requires 200 stitches, and every 3 words earns you a raffle entry.
Lovely. Okay, so that's what's happening in No New Starts. So, or / WIPWarriors. If you are interested, then get on board because time is running out. Now, DownUnderDivas have a weekly prompt, and they're for fortnightly prompt. And the current fortnightly prompt goes between the 7th to the 20th of November. So we're right in it now, and it's about Remembrance Day, because the 11th of the 11th is Remembrance Day in Australia. And you can choose to do 100, 200, or 300 stitches for each of these prompts. As Laurie and I try and show you, we try to now double dip these with what we've already chosen, if possible, and stick to it. If you can't do this one, the penalty stitches are red. You have to do all the stitches in red. So every year on the 11th, it's 1 minute silence. Remember, we've fallen or suffered in a war, conflict, or peace operation. Stitch on a WIP related to the number 11. Laurie, what have you got to relate to the number 11?
Well, I don't know specifically, but I bet I could count up some things. Yeah, that's kind of hard off the bat.
11's quite a hard number. Like, you know, sort of 2 to 6, we usually can go, oh yeah, I've got a piece with 6 trees, or, but 11. Obviously, if it had the number 11 on it,
that would work. I think I would just count some things in my WIP to see if I could find something that had 11 things, and like something in common that had 11 components. I don't know.
So I'm not getting I think that's what I'll be doing too. Possibly maple leaves, or I got 14 pumpkins. Okay, but that's how I'd be doing it too. The above time was chosen because this is the moment both sides signed a ceasefire at the end of World War One. Stitch a piece related to war. All right, mine's a bit weird. I'm going to jump in while you're thinking. But in war, lots of people died with gravestones and ghosts.
I've got it. I've got it. I'm excited. I've got it. Attack on Titan. There's a war against Titans in this anime.
Okay. Traditionally, we wear red poppies on Remembrance Day to commemorate those lost. Stitch on a piece with a red flower.
Got it. I need to finish my Christmas whip for this year. So Sing and Rejoice is well, I don't know if you call it poinsettia.
Yeah, we do. Yes.
You did? Okay. That was my red flower.
Well, yeah. I'm going to be stitching in black for this, aren't I? And look at that big red rose. A stitching time, a stitching shelf. The last post bugle is played at ceremonies of final farewell. Stitch on a piece with a wind instrument or one that is last in the series.
Stitch on a piece with a wind instrument.
Or is last in the series. So I'll jump in. I know there is a flute in the Nutcracker Village, and a flute is a wind instrument. It doesn't say brass, it says wind. Wood, wind, and brass.
Got it. I'm just pulling it up so I can share it better. So in my whip baptism, you can see a saxophone here in the background.
Fantastic. And trombones or something, they're wind as well. So you've got lots there. Fantastic. And as it's about remembrance, stitch on a piece you are stitching in remembrance of someone who has passed. Do you have any remembrance pieces you're doing at the moment?
Well, if you know, you don't mind me getting religious, in baptism, we baptize in kind of, you could say it's in remembrance of the burial and then resurrection of Christ. A lot of people interpret that in a lot of ways. I will just spin it that way.
That's fine. I have to think about which one I'd be doing. Probably, again, what's coming to mind is for my grandmothers who taught me to sew. So, yeah, I did do a remembrance piece earlier in the year. My Strawberry Fields was an actual legitimate remembrance piece for my father-in-law. All right, and then the last 5 prompts spell out the word Anzac with the correct spelling, which is A-N-Z-A-C. So you have to stitch on a whip that contains an item that starts with the letter, and your 2 A's have to be separate items, but you'll like this one, Laurie. If you can complete these 5 on the same whip, you get bonus. So can you get the Haunted Bookshelf to spell out A-N-Z-A-C? Pop it up. Let's see what we can find.
Alrighty. I think.
Where's your one? Show your stitch one with everything in it.
Oh.
Sorry,
we showed you my progress. I'm sorry.
Progress has more on it. Yes.
Got it.
But there.
You get to see all my.
Yes, this one. That'll do. Yeah, that's what I want. That's the one I want. Okay. I can see A for arch.
Oh, yeah. There's another A in that for
arm.
Yeah, an arm. Okay, there's 2 A's.
You got an N, a nose.
Nose. I put Nosferatu because this is Dracula under there.
Yep. Z
and D. That's hard.
That is. And a C.
Cat.
Oh yeah, cat. So a C. I wonder what the guy coming out of the floor is.
That's Grendel. He's a demon.
Okay. Is there another demon that starts with Z?
Mm,
What about the Art of Flying Books? Does that start with Z?
No, there's a
That's a
wind.
hard one.
That's really hard. There are no numbers. I could say 0.
Well, you could say there are 0 live people. Hey,
True.
they're pretty yeah, there's 0 walls, there's 0 live people.
Yeah.
That's that's a hard one. So anyway, that's your trick. You got to find a Z now. All right.
Yep.
What one am I going to stitch on, Laurie? Let's go with this one. I've
Okay.
got archways.
You do.
It's night.
Yep. Another A for
Automobile. There's a car.
There's a car. Automobile. Yep.
And C for
you have curtains in there anywhere?
I'm sure there's curtains. So again, I'm just looking for the Z. I mean, there's big panda. Shame it's not a zebra.
Yes.
So there you go. I'll look for a Z, but I think my artisty house Christmas house is a good one.
Yes, one of the things I do when I have like acrostics and things like that, you can Google nouns that start with the letter whatever.
Maybe we need to do that.
Give you a list of words and then you try to figure it out. So
let's have a look. Z nouns. Oh, there you go. What about a zealot, a fanatical believer? Zeaxanthin is a natural yellow pigment that occurs in corn, egg yolk, and human retina. So if you had some corn or eggs showing, a zebra fish.
what about a zipper? Like if there's clothing?
Yes, zipper would be good. You might have a zipper. What about zebra wood? What's zebra wood mean? Is that a type of wood? Because I might be able to pretend there's zebra wood in my building. Yep, it's a
You
tree.
could say a zigzag.
A zigzag, yes. Anyone who cares, you might have zebra wood.
Oh.
So there you go.
Good.
We've helped you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps people.
Yes.
Okay. What else have we got? There's lots of other games happening. A few new ones have started up again.
HellsStitching and Six Strand both have a somewhat weekly event going on. Six Strand just started, so they have a kind of a test event called Family and Friends.
Yep.
And that runs through, I believe, do you remember?
Sorry.
Mondays.
I'm not sure. I just got distracted by the girls.
It's midway through, so it's not going for too much longer. I would have to look that up.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
a few more days. All right, you're looking. The HellsStitchen one just started, so that with chance to do something because we haven't had anything really to do for a week, which has been a little bit sad. Utopia is just plodding along, but there is a pop-up today for Utopia. Let me read you the pop-up. The pop-up is a 24-hour pop-up. It's the St. Martin's procession arrived with their lanterns at the inn. Sing along with them to receive a special treat. So we have to do 500 stitches and sing a song about St. Martin. And the first person to do their 500 stitches for each song that they find gets the treat, whatever it is. So I looked it up and I found a song. So I'm going to be stitching that when I finish filming.
I did look for a song, and there's lots of songs out there. I got more results on Google than I did on YouTube search, but yeah.
Anyway, something different. Apart from that, our tribe have a whole bunch of new members who we haven't met before, and they're getting into the swing of things. And also, we're in the middle of shopping for them. Did you find out when it was closing?
Yes, Saturday night.
Okay.
So not tonight, tomorrow night.
Yeah. Okay. What about any other groups? Survival?
Survival had a reboot, so they have a new concept. I'm no longer a member of that group, but it looks like there's a strong team to carry the game forward. It will be just in a different format from if you knew it from a year or two before, it'll be in a different format going forward. So if you're interested, check it out. I believe it's an open group.
Okay. As far as I know, most of these game groups are still open to members. So you just search for them and join. But as we always say, the thing with these games, these team games, is you've got to be a team player, because you can really let your team down if you don't participate. It doesn't mean you have to stitch every day, but you have to communicate so your team know what to expect from you. I know we've got 2 people away at the moment in one of our games, and that's fine because we know about it. So we've got plans in place to cover for them. Some games you have to do things by yourself. And so if you're not going to at least commit to getting those have-tos, then you're going to be a burden to the team, and it's not fun for anyone. So, but if you want to be part of the team and have lots of fun, then join in, and, it gets lots of stitching done. It really helps you. It's just like, I've got to get that 150 done.
That's true.
Okay. So I think that's all we've got to talk about today. It was just a quick update, although never quick with us. And we'll be back with you some other time. Till then, happy stitching.
Hi.